Video games are big business. And pre-ordering games, something once isolated to game specialty stores like FuncoLand or GameStop, has become increasingly popular and is now being offered by a number of retailers, all trying to profit from the lucrative practice. Let's take a look at what is really motivating pre-ordering and why it may not be such a good thing. These days, people typically give four main reasons for pre-ordering video games. Of these, we notice that only the first one, immediacy, has any form of time component. But it still does not explain why, in a world of 2-day shipping, orders are being placed weeks or months ahead of time. As for the rest, these could be motivations for a purchase at any time during a product's lifespan, yet are still heavily associated with pre-ordering. If we examine what motivates publishers and retailers to push pre-orders, we can understand how these benefits became coupled with pre-ordering, and, more importantly, how that could mean trouble for the consumer. Obviously, publishers and retailers want to put their products in the best possible light to encourage a sale. And what better time is there than when a game is all idealistic potential instead of disappointing reality? Which brings us to motivation number 1. Pre-ordering shifts the time of purchase to when excitement is highest and reviews are non-existent. As such, we should expect to see incentives to make early purchasing more appealing, distracting consumers from the subtle risk that the game they're purchasing is an unknown quantity. These incentives come in the form of increased limited editions or special content tied exclusively to the pre-order process. And it is well known in psychological circles that the appearance of scarcity via limited releases is a highly effective means to spur people to purchase. In other words, it's a purposefully crafted trick to limit objective decision-making and motivate a purchase by playing to the consumer's emotions. And after being manipulated in this way, is it any surprise that in the end, the emotion most commonly associated with pre-ordering is sadness? But more importantly than this psychological manipulation is that it also sends the wrong kind of message to developers and publishers about their products. Motivation number 2. The pre-order market provides feedback about the cost-effective size and scope of a game during its development. By pre-ordering, a consumer is sending a message of intent to purchase, despite the lack of any credible warranty that a game is high quality, a certain duration, or even complete. As such, we should expect to see, and we do, an increase in the number of games that don't live up to the hype, that are broken at launch, or are not the full experience expected or promised. But there is one phenomenon irking gamers that's occurring with ever-increasing frequency, is a unique result of pre-ordering, and perfectly demonstrates its ill effects: Day 1 DLC. Many have asked what possible reasons developers would have for not simply making this content part of the base game. The answer is that the pre-order market informed them that they didn't have to. The game was going to be bought regardless. It's likely the pre-order system provided the publishers with valuable market data about the expected sales, and with that information they determined whether it was more cost-effective to trim the content and instead provide it as DLC for an additional cost.
In the end, it's best if gamers understand the costs and trade-offs associated with pre-ordering. Sure, pre-order bonuses are nice, but it's a two-way street. Publishers and retailers have a great deal to gain from the pre-ordering system, and we might be giving up a lot more than we realize by putting down our money before a game is completed. Our pre-orders send feedback into the system that can affect the outcome. We must determine whether we trust a particular company to continue to push quality on games still in development, even though the sale has already been made. The trinkets and collectibles offered for pre-orders may be alluring, but they lose their luster in the face of getting a bad game. I'm MightyQDawg, and that's the way I see it. Thanks for watching.